guys, it's Ashley and I'm bringing you a video today to follow up to another video that I made. So if you haven't watched that one yet, stay tuned. I'm going to share all of the details about it and I'm just so glad that you're here. So today's video is all about a product launch that I recently did, and last video that I did was about like how to avoid product launch pitfalls, and it was really just me documenting with you guys how I was really just kind of like sitting on my haunches and really hemming and hawing on launching a product for my business, which ended up being reed diffusers. I wanted to share with you guys how that's gone. It's been 2 weeks since I've launched, and I have some data points for you guys and some like I told you so Ashley moments that I just needed to further drive home with you all. And if you're new here, my name is Ashley. I am a serial entrepreneur and I take you guys along with me on all the highs and lows on starting a business. And I apply my wherewithal of like marketing experience and business strategy and things like that. This business is candles. Honestly, I was really hesitant on launching this product and I still am a little on shaky ground about it if I'm being fully transparent with you guys. Reed diffusers isn't a product that I typically use in my home previous to being a candle maker. And so, yeah, this was just like, there was a lot of outside factors happening. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So if you want to watch that video, I will link it here, wherever it pops up. We talked about like all of the things that I would give advice on if somebody were in my shoes in that situation, and the things that like I was just dragging my feet on, really. Like I think I was just, I don't know. And I still feel kind of like I'm dragging my feet. And I'll be honest, I think I've done a little bit of soul searching around this, and I really am a candle business. And so even with room sprays, I kind of have this feeling of this is an add-on item. Like this is a stepchild item. And I hate to say that because stepchildren are lovely. I don't know. I don't have any and I am not one, but I'm sure they're all very lovely. So excuse the relation that I'm giving to that. But I just want to draw a picture of like, I am a candle business and I think I am trying to add new products or add like SKUs for the sake of relevancy, but also to like keep people interested because not everyone wants to burn a candle. And I get that. I've had people that have come to me and say, hey girl, I have cats. I can't burn a candle, but I love the scents that you have and I want to support you. So bing, I'm like, I want to have a different product. Or they'll be like, I live in an apartment or I'm at work and I'm not allowed to have a candle, but I want to support you. I love the scents, so on and so forth. So it does make sense to broaden the product lines that I have, but I'm also just not like in love with them. Like I was not a room spray girly before this, and I was not a diffuser girly before this. I do love them. I see the benefits to them. And so I was like, it makes sense if it still follows my P's and Q's of like what Upside embodies that I do this. So that's led me to this point. I bought the diffuser bottles around probably not this time. This is August going into September of 2023. So around Q4 of 2022, when Makesy had a huge sale, I was like, okay, I know I want to add these. I'm going to add them. Once I have like some space, I'll start testing them. So I started testing them in January in my home. January turns into February, February into March. And then in March, I remember being like, okay, this is going to be a great product to launch around the August timeframe. I'll get all my checks and balances done, the R&D finished, and August will be great. Or I actually scratch that. I was thinking July. I ended up doing it in August. July will be great because it's hotter than the sun outside, and that will be like a nice boost because not many people are buying candles, but you know, they still are somewhat in their homes because it's so hot outside, and a diffuser would be nice, but they don't have to like light an additional fire. Pun intended. So, fast forward, then I like got the product boxes, which was a whole other thing. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I still stress about the product boxes, and they turned out lovely. And I absolutely like, I love them to death, but I'm still trying to like figure out a way to like make sure that I'm following my company's mission statement of like less is more. But still appeal to my wholesale accounts with boxes and know that their real estate and their presentation is important. So that's a whole other video. So if you want that, then leave me a message below. But anyway, I digress. Of course, all of this, because this is how I'm feeling about it. Anyway, I got the boxes done. That was stressful. Ripped off the Band-Aid with that. I've had the boxes since literally May of this year. And then I was like, okay, I'm still on track for July. Summer release happens, and then there was a big catastrophe with like summer vessels that doesn't belong in this video. But anyway, that got delayed, and my marketing strategy and calendar got very botched up. And so I actually had to push the diffuser launch to August. And I was like totally fine with that, but I think I was fine with it for all the wrong reasons. That my fear of like, this product isn't going to do great, and I don't use this product, and it's not that I don't believe in the product, but I'm not like, you can't light me up about diffusers as you can about candles. And hopefully that lands. I don't know. It's not that I'm not selling a product that I don't believe in. It's just that I'm selling a product that I don't use on a day-to-day basis. I literally forget to flip the reeds months at a time. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's what that does. So there's that. And then I'm like, it doesn't smell. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, did I make a bad product? And then I flip the reeds and I'm like, no, I didn't make a bad product. I'm okay. But the whole point of my story is that I was just launching a product that I felt like I was then rushing to launch because it got pushed back. But I didn't want to sit on this inventory any longer because I have a very strict release calendar for all of my marketing and my fall release, which is, I'm not going to let anything come in the way of that, because that is just like the Super Bowl of candle season. And then holiday release, I didn't want anything to come in the way of that. So all of this to say, I was definitely in my own way about this release. I don't feel like I like shortcut it in any sort of way, but I do feel like I could have done better. But that's also me just being very harsh on myself. And so I did my like whole spiel like 2 weeks prior. I did kind of like this like unveiling of like, what do you think it could be? People got really into it. I sent out an email. I probably had like 25 people respond and be like, oh my gosh, is it wax melts? Is it this? Is it that? And I did like little vague hints of like skip the flame. And so that was cool because I got interaction with it. And there were people that were genuinely just like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this release. And so it's wonderful. It's great. I don't love the labels on it. I don't know if I will ever be satisfied. I'm still not in love with like my logo. I'm still not in love with all of that. Don't love the product boxes. But like, this is all brand new to me. And the fact that I like literally did a product release, I should just like be grateful for and thankful for and proud of myself for, but I'm just even now in this video poking holes about it. But what I did to prep for the release was I sent out an email to my wholesale accounts and I was like, hey guys, I usually do this like anywhere 3 to 4 weeks before a product release so that they can do their pre-orders. And then that way I can prep enough inventory gauged on like what I think might sell. And then if it doesn't sell, then it's okay because it will eventually sell. But I like to keep the stock for my wholesale accounts separate and know that headed into any product release. So I just like have that. It won't be touched. We're good to go. So I reached out to my wholesalers and I remember I made the video for you guys. And then I remember sending that email and I remember not getting any responses. And usually when I send a wholesale email, I'll get responses within 24, 48 hours for some pre-orders, and I didn't get any pre-orders. And so that like totally took the wind out of my sails. Not that I'm anything great or wonderful or fantastic, but just because I was already feeling insecure kind of feelings about this. And then I usually am like, oh, they love it, they want it, and they didn't. And that's okay. I did end up getting 3 wholesale orders eventually before I launched the product, so that did help. But I just think that diffusers are just a different animal. And stick with me because I'm going to share a little bit more of what I've actually found to be like very helpful insight and to chill myself out that it's like not personal. I love how I just like stick my nose in it as if like it's about me all the time, and it's not. I released the re-diffusers at the beginning of August. And the first few hours were great sales. I made an inventory of 100 of them because I was like, well, they're pretty easy for me to like assemble if I needed to make more. If it was like a new scent, I would have made more than that. And I just checked the numbers now. This is 2 weeks later. I've sold 60% of that 100. ish, I think like 63 units, something like that. And I released 3 scents. And then obviously I had those wholesale orders. So it definitely was like a lot slower than I thought it would be. I didn't sell out, but I didn't expect to sell out. And not to say that I'm like, again, like a humble brag or anything, but I do try and strategically make quantities to sell out because it's good PR, it's good marketing. But this one, I don't know. I just felt like I was going in blind and I needed to literally rip off the Band-Aid and just do it. But I still didn't feel that like confidence or that like excitement around it, I guess is what I'm trying to evoke to you guys. So nonetheless, it's still very successful. It helped me hit my August number already. It's not even the end of August at the time of me just impromptu filming this. So, but the things that I wanted to take away from you guys is that, since it is such a new product for Upside in my business, I didn't do a very good job of marketing to people how to use them. I just assumed that people knew how to use them. And that was just a poor assumption on my part because people were like, oh, I don't really get it. And I had one woman who like picked up her order and it literally sent me into the moon. But she like picked up her order, I think the same day. And that night she messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey, this doesn't smell. Like, did I get a bad batch? And I was like, oh my God, which is always like my worst fear of any candle that I make, anything. I mean, they're buying the smell, right? So it's like 90% of it. And so I was just like, oh my gosh. And I hadn't troubleshooted really the reed diffusers yet. And so I just like went through like the steps and I was like, I should have done a better job of marketing this, how to use, like teaching, assuming, just start from square one and build up. And I just didn't. And so that was a shame on me moment. But anyway, come to find out that I think she just like put them in and the reeds like hadn't even been fully soaked yet. And so I haven't heard from her since. So knock on wood that she's like a happy customer. If not, I will obviously like refund her money. Because I always like err on the side of like, if you're not happy, I will make you happy because I don't want you to ever leave me. That was like a thing that I grossly underestimated of like, you know, it's just like we would do for candles with wooden wicks, like trim your wick or really any wick, trim your wick. And it's like with reed diffusers, y'all got to teach them how to like take the little seal off. And because I had people ask that and how to like what to do. And so I just trying to make like a fun campaign around it. And I'll have to like keep driving that home like I do the other ones. Guys, the mosquitoes, we don't have mosquitoes in New Mexico, but apparently they decided to live here now. Sorry. Anyway, it's just been a thing that was a learning curve for me. I'm still happy that I did it. I'm still happy that I feel like it still was the right time. I just don't know. I'm kind of like checks and balances of like, are you just a grade A perfectionist that will never be satisfied? You will never be satisfied. Then the other part of me is just like, is this the right product for your line? And I think it is, and I think just time will tell. Like even room sprays, like I said, aren't my favorite, but over time, like people at markets love them, they keep buying them, and I'm just like, okay, easy item for me. And so I shouldn't like underestimate that. I feel like the procrastination was more along the lines of just like my emotions and my feelings behind it. And my confidence definitely does come from the candles. And so that is just kind of my bread and butter, and I should probably like pay attention to that, but get comfortable in the uncomfortable because that's not going to hurt me and it's going to be all right. And Upside needs to grow, and growing pains are great, and new products are awesome. And who knows, maybe one day they will be my bestseller. I mean, I hope not, because I really love making candles. So I'm going to stick in that lane. If you are like on the fence of launching a new product, like absolutely go and do it. And here's the thing. Up until like maybe 5 years ago, I wouldn't rent a library book without like this mentality of like, I have to read this until the very end because I took the time to like check it out. Even if I hate this book, I have to finish it. I've always had that mentality. Like when you commit to something, like you have to invest until like your dying day. And that's just not the case. Now, I'm not saying like just do a switcheroo every 5 seconds and not let like proof be in the pudding type of thing and like actually get hard facts from things. But you know, maybe down the line diffusers just aren't going to be in my line. Like maybe they're just not a thing. And then maybe they are, but I need to let that live and I need to let it go, just like room sprays, and then let it either surprise me or give me like valid proof that like this isn't the right direction we need to be going, and we pull back. And that's okay. That doesn't mean my business is going to fail. It doesn't mean that I'm a failure. It doesn't mean any of the above. It just means that you tried something and that maybe it didn't work, or it did. And that's wonderful. It's just a synopsis of my last month that has been stressful. And just so you know, in case you guys are stressing about like product packaging, I am right there with you. Like, that is not a strong suit of mine. It's not something that I enjoy. I kind of just like threw the design at a friend of mine and I was like, can you just help me and just send me a bill? Like, I don't know. And I don't know if it's just I'm working with the wrong people, but I've even worked with like box manufacturers and packaging manufacturers, and they always just come with an air. It's kind of like labeling companies. Like, they just come with an air of like, maybe I'm filling in the dialogue that I should just know what I'm talking about. And it's like I don't get paid enough to like know what material or down to the last millimeter sizing this needs. Like, I don't know. Like, my boxes are a little too big, I will be honest. Like, my diffusers kind of rattle around in them, so I do have to wrap them. Like, not ideal. I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to figure it out. Maybe you're in that same boat, but give yourself a little bit of grace. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to connect with you guys. If there's a topic you'd like to see me touch on in the coming videos, please let me know that as well. And you guys, please subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.